Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel, and today we will have a look at Machine Guards of the Noxian Expanse, the Voidspire Territories. So this is an expansion or supplement to the original Machine Guards of the Noxian Expanse, and today we will have a quick look at what's contained in this book and a little short gameplay to show you just a little sneak peek of the Machine Guards of the Noxian Expanse, Voidspire Territories. So we have some lore and backstory of the Voidspire Territories, and we will further look at some places of interest of Voidspire City and some other small settlements and areas surrounding this area. And of course, there will be some new creatures added to this very interesting city. Okay, so I won't go into the history. You can have a read at that yourself. And for more details on how to get the book, I will leave that in my description section. So over the first part, you can actually create a new character using the character backgrounds table. This is slightly different from the Machine Guards of the Noxian Expanse. We are looking at some new character backgrounds here that are more relevant to the Voidspire territories. The city of Voidspire is broken up into several areas. Right from the bottom, we have the memory crypts and the maintenance tunnels. And over on the ground level, this section over here, we have the warrens where the commoners live. And over at the top, we have three different factions, namely the Glass Lords, the Circuit Priests, as well as the Conduit Knights. These three factions make up the main conflict that is happening within the city of Voidspire. And over the years, there's quite a bit of conflict between these three factions, each trying to gain power over the other. And while they all try to coexist in peace. The first table that we see over here, there are some nighttime encounters where your player character can roll on and generate a scenario or an encounter. And there's also a table on what's in their pockets. I presume this will be for your PC to search the NPCs' body and clothing. Perhaps you have killed them. You can find some interesting items inside that may help in your storyline. And of course, looking at this is something that is new. This is the Conspiracy Network grid, where you can generate 6 different conspiracies and find out the relationship between them. So over here, there's some guides on how you can make use of this grid together with the generated conspiracies to create a very intriguing storyline, and also something for you as well as your players to uncover over your game session. At the other chapters, there are also some interesting NPCs that you may get to interact with. So the maintenance tunnels are something like that operates similarly to the ruins of the Machine Guards. So instead of rolling over at the events table on the Machine Guards, you roll a event over here if you're at the tunnel and the crypts. And similarly, how you generate the rooms and the corridors are the same as per the core rules. And of course, we have the Voidspire tunnels and crypts, specific encounters, as well as the artifacts. Okay, over here, it showcases more on the factions. And there's this thing called faction reputation, where you can choose who you want to work with, namely the 3 different factions, the Glass Lords, the Circuit Priests, as well as the Conduit Knights, to complete different quests or tasks for them to gain reputation points and going up the ranks. So in all, there are 5 different ranks, starting from Freeman, which is the lowest level, and moving upwards the ladder. Alright, of course there are some other areas like the Black Rock, a little bit on the background of this place, and potential plot hooks where you can generate from visiting this area. There's Blackrock Mine, there's a layout of a Blackrock Mine as well, and other settlements and farmlands as well, which form the surrounding areas of the Voidspire city. And of course, over at the last few pages, we have the creatures specific to this expansion, or over here, their stat blocks. Okay, so without further ado, let's jump right into the game. And for me, I have already started playing the machine guards, and I've managed to bridge the module of the Voidspire Territories to the machine guards game where I had. So this is my map on my map grid where I have over here. So over the course of my games, I have uncovered or explored the various grids, and I'm actually over here, whereby I have generated an ancient ruin, which I have conveniently decided that this would be the Voidspire territory. So my character is over here at the moment. And over here on my right, I have some player aids that I've created on my own. It's all very analog, it's all written. So of course, I believe the character sheet is readily available where you can download and print it. Well, I haven't, so I've just written everything down here. My character attributes, the weapons, including the gear as well, right, feats and drawbacks, stuff like that. And over here I have some quick reference cards that I have that helps me to know what to do in terms of like combat and so on. So I have also created a player guide when I first started over here. So this helps me with my exploration. More of solo play, I have some guide on exploration, foraging, hunting, setting camp, what's required, and also the solo tables, the oracles, such as creating a scene, surprise events, action theme, and so on, just to guide myself through the game. So currently, where am I? I am just, my player character has just started investigating the warrens, particularly the Grand Bazaar, where there are some NPCs that you can trade, you can get healing, you can get information from, and he has also went to the memory crypts to investigate. One of the key plots would be that he has found out that there was a plot to overthrow the circuit priests. Right now my character is going to investigate on one of the key story arcs pertaining to this, which is to find out the reason for sending encoded messages out to the city secretly. To do this, the first thing that I would do is I would choose to work for the glass lords. So that hopefully that will help me gain entry and trust into this particular faction and gain the necessary information to uncover that story arc. So over here, this is just a little sketch of the memory crypts that my character has explored yesterday. So it's just to show you what it is with some little notes scribbled at the side. Okay, so first of all, over here it says working for the glass lords. For players who choose to align themselves with the glass lords and work their way up the social ladder, the following ranks provide a clear progression path. Each rank comes with increasing responsibilities, privileges, and challenges. culminating in the prestigious title of Court Lord, the only noble title attainable by player characters. So Court Lord would be the highest rank you can attain. So the PC's contact is Lord Harrock, who works from his office in the upper levels. He is their liaison and the person responsible for assigning them missions. So I'm currently at Freeman rank. Let me blow this up a bit. So Freemen are the lowest rank within most societies in the Noxian Expanse, at least among those considered civilized citizens. Freemen working for the Glass Lords are granted limited access to the upper levels and are expected to perform tasks for their patron, such as running errands, gathering information, or assisting with minor administrative duties. So I think this is really important in terms of my exploration into the particular story arc of finding out why are the Glass Lords sending mysterious encoded messages out. So my way in would be to work for them and to gain access to this particular faction, interact with them, and see if I can find out more information. So my character is currently at the Warrens, so my contact will be Lord Harrock. So I'm going to note that down, that I am going to speak to Lord Harrock. I presume that I would be able to find him through somebody in the bazaar, particularly this guy called Farron, who is an NPC that has all the insider news and so on, and intel. So presumably I speak to Farron. Let me try to see if I can find Lord Harrock through Farron, and I'm going to do this by doing a presence check. So this is something like charisma, and hopefully I'm able to convince Farron to link me up with Lord Harrock. Over here at my character sheet, I am at 9 points for presence and the modifier is 0. So how do I do this? I'm gonna do an average presence check, right? So for average, I would refer to not the oracle, but very conveniently either the target number or the dynamic target number table. In this case, let me use the target number table. Okay, so for average, I'm supposed to roll a 14 and above. 14 and above. So let's see, and I have a modifier of 0 for my presence. I roll a 16, so that's a clean roll, and we successfully convinced Farron to link me up to Lord Harrock. Right, so I'm going to note that down into my little journal here so I can keep track of the developments in my story as I play. So, right, so I have met up with Lord Harrock, and I will start to speak to him. I will do this to create a task. I will use the, let's see, is there a task table? I believe there is one, but that would be more to the Noxian Expanse core rules set. And I'm going to generate a task using the task table. So first I'm going to roll a d6 to check the task type, if it's an item, place, or person. So I roll a 6, it's a person. Alright, so based on person, I'm going to roll another d6. That's a 1. I'm supposed to liberate a person. And what's the target? 4, that will be employer's master. So I'm supposed to find a person, liberate him, and this person is the employer's master. I can speed things up by checking the simplified Oracle table where it says a success or failure, and if there's a complication, and move on from there. I'm going to put this task as average, being the very first task that my character is performing as a freeman. So based on average, the modifier would be a 14. So I do have to roll a 14 or higher in order to pass this particular task. And I would also have to look at my attribute score. So if it's something related to strength, that will be plus looking at my modifier. If it's something to do with intelligence, that will also reflect a certain modifier into my roll. So in this case, I will choose, if it's locating, I would probably choose, should I choose will or intelligence? I think either one. So I either intelligence check or will check, which is a modifier of 0. So I will roll a d20 to see if I succeed in that. A 13 plus 0, that's a fail. So technically I have failed the task, right, in my first try, but fret not. I think that's where the dynamic target numbers table is there for. So I'm gonna not let a die roll like that hinder my game. I'm gonna move forward. So looking at that, if I would look at the DTN table, task of average with modifier of 0, I would have to roll a 11. So instead of a hard 14 that I have to pass, which I have not passed, I could roll, as long as I roll an 11 and above, I would have passed. So under the DTN, I would have passed. So let's assume that I've managed to find this person that the glass lots are looking for. Each time you complete a mission for a faction, you must roll a d6. If the result is higher than your current rank, so I'm currently rank 1, if it's higher, I will progress to the next one. Okay, easy. 4. So I roll above 1. I will progress to level 2. So I'm right now second rank for the glass lots, which is, I'm a vassal. My character has gained the trust of the glass lots, and he should be closer to finding out what's behind their scheme of sending out the encoded messages. At this point, I would like to unravel more into the particular story arc of the encoded messages. I'm going to make use of the Oracle tables and see if I can generate something from the surprise event, right? So over here, this is suitable, definitely suitable for that. And if the situation outcome is uncertain, or when you simply need to know what happens next, use the following method to learn more details. So I will roll a d8 for the column and another on the roll to generate a surprise event. So I'm assuming that I am in the patronage of the glass lords, and I start to talk to somebody within their ranks, and I will find out, what's going on. I roll a 4 and a 4, the red one goes first, so that's knowledge. That's so apt. And 4 would be secret knowledge or hidden knowledge. This is so apt to what I'm trying to find out. Yes, so Indeed, I am meddling with secret knowledge right now, and I would like to find out a little more on what this secret message or secret knowledge is about. So I will roll on the actions and theme tables. I will roll the D100 twice. So that's a 24 and a 22, which brings me to abandoned. Abandoned friendship.